Now, at some time when you're recording, you're probably going to want to use some sort of MIDI controller, a keyboard, or a drum machine, either to send MIDI information out from live or back into live. So we can set up our MIDI preference parameters, and that way we can talk to any one of our MIDI controllers or just to a MIDI keyboard or a drum machine. So here we're going to go back into live. We're going to go to Live's options on a PC or preferences on a Mac. And here we have our preferences. And I want to go to the MIDI sync pane right there on the left. Now here in my MIDI sync pane, we're going to see the control services that you can use. This is a list of available native control services that actually work with live, that have been tested, and they say, okay, these will work perfectly with live. And there's a pretty big list right here, as you can see. That extends down. Let me raise this up so you can see the full list. There we go. There's a full list right there. You can see the whole thing. Now, I'm currently using Auxium Pro. So, my Auxium Pro, I can use outputs and inputs. So that means I can send information into the Auxium Pro, and Auxium Pro can send information back. And this is done through hyper control. So, I'm going to go here and use the Auxium Pro 61 hyper control in. And then I'm going to use the Auxium Pro hyper control out, which is right here. And what this allows is that Auxium is able to talk back and forth to a quirky system where I can set up different parameters for different buttons to use and control those parameters within live. But also, it'll also understand every button in live, and it's already mapped out onto my controller. Now, the control for this is the APC40 by Akai, which is some of the same things as well. And you'll see it right here in the APC20 and APC40 also. Very popular items. And now, so I don't have any of the controls that I actually have that are on this list, but I do have, here you go, I do have this. I have my Pro Tools, see? So my Pro Tools service here, and I can have a Pro service here also. I can go in and out here on this one port here, using Pro Tools to go in and out, sending information back in and out through my Pro Tools MIDI ports. Meanwhile, the Auxium Pro has USB ports. Now, if I am hooked up properly, I'm on Auxium Pro right here, I'll be able to go to my keyboard. I'll see a little light here in the upper right-hand corner. See a little light go off right there? Upper right-hand corner of the window. That's me playing the keyboard. And so I can see I have MIDI going into live, and it recognizes the keyboard, so we're good. Here, this is a dump here where, let's say, for example, you want to dump a preset. Well, you can do that here. It all depends on what those parameters are and where you would find that on your hard drive. And you need to probably look at the manual for your specific controller or keyboard or drum machine if you want to do some preset dumps. Now, below this we have the MIDI ports that are available. And you can see the ones that are available here. And we see if they're on or off. So these are on, as you can see here. We have the MBox 2 control and the MBox 2 port 1. We have the USB ports, as I said before, USB for the Auxium Pro, USB-A, and USB-B. And then we have Hyper Control, which is right here. And we can have, now here is a sync. So in case I want to sync out and I want to send MIDI timecode information directly from my live out of another machine, I can sync back and forth with those two machines. And here we also have remote, where I can do remote control via actual controller or keyboard or drum machine as well. And if we're going to do that, I can just turn this on, and we can have a chance to do that in front of the machine if we want to do that. In this case, we're not. But I may even use that here with the Auxium Pro, where I can have it control my live and say, okay, great, we're going to run it back and forth and use a remote control for it as well. So, once that's set up, we can see it right here. And of course, we have a MIDI track right here, as you can see here. And we see the available ins and outs right here, as you can see. Hyper control in, so it says all ins there. And here we have track views, so you're going to have all 16 MIDI tracks right there, MIDI channels, and input output. So if you ever go back and you want to reconfigure, of course, as we did before with the audio, rather than going to the preferences menu on a Mac or options on the PC, you just go right here, configure, pull up configure, and you'll come up to this preference window, which will show you automatically that you're in the MIDI section. So that's a faster way to get there rather than going through the preferences or through the options menu. And once we're set up, we're ready to go.